Well, this breaking input we're tracking from the international grounds, where after 15 months, Hamas has unleashed its terror on Israel. A ceasefire deal is finally come into effect today. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has released a statement and he said, and I quote, "As of today, we have returned home 157 of our hostages, 117 of whom are alive. Under the agreement that has now been approved, we will return home another 33 of our brothers and sisters, most of them alive." He further said that the first stage of the deal is only a temporary ceasefire and revealed that both outgoing President Biden and President-elect Trump provided assurances that Israel could resume the war if negotiations on the second phase of the hostage deal prove futile. Well, these are the latest inputs that we are tracking from the ground at this point of time, where a statement has been released by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announcing that 157 hostages have been returned, with 117 of them being alive. Remember, now the entire hostage ceasefire deal is on the table, and here are the key aspects of the deal. First, the hostage releases. 157 hostages have been returned home so far, with 117 alive, and an additional 33 hostages are expected to be released anytime soon. Now, temporary ceasefire. This is a current ceasefire is a temporary version, and Israel may resume military action if the negotiations stall. Now, after 467 days since Hamas unleashed its terror on Israel, and after more than 46,000 lost their lives to the fighting in West Asia on both the sides, and after multiple rounds of ground operations and truce talks, a ceasefire deal is actually finally coming into effect today. The deal, which is expected to be implemented in 3 different phases, was approved by the Hamas on Wednesday. Israel's government also approved a Gaza ceasefire and hostage deal after deliberating for more than 7 hours early into Saturday. The vote clears the way for the first pause in fighting in months and the phased exchange of hostages and Palestinian prisoners.
Israel's cabinet has approved a deal with Palestinian militant group Hamas for a ceasefire and release of hostages in the Gaza Strip. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office announced the decision on Saturday, a day before the agreement is set to start. After a 6-hour meeting, the government ratified the agreement early on Saturday. It could pave the way for an end to the 15-month war in the Hamas-controlled Palestinian enclave. In Gaza, Israeli warplanes have continued heavy attacks since the ceasefire deal was agreed. Medics reported that an airstrike early Saturday killed several people in a tent in Mawazi, west of Khan Yunis. This raised the Palestinian death toll to at least 119 since the accord was announced on Wednesday. Following Israeli cabinet approval, lead US negotiator Brett McGurk said the plan was on track. The ceasefire will come into effect on Sunday morning, the Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman posted on X. The 3-stage ceasefire starts with an initial 6-week phase during which hostages held by Hamas will be exchanged for prisoners in Israel. 33 of the 98 remaining Israeli hostages are to be freed in this phase. In return, Israel will release almost 2,000 Palestinians from its jails. The agreement also calls for increased assistance, and international organizations have aid trucks lined up on Gaza's borders to bring food, fuel, medicine and other vital supplies. 24 ministers in Netanyahu's coalition government voted in favor of the deal, while 8 opposed it, according to media reports. Opponents argued the ceasefire agreement represented a capitulation to Hamas. Israel and Hamas have been waging a war since gunmen from the Palestinian militant group burst into Israel on October 7, 2023, killing some 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. Israel responded with a military assault in Gaza, in which more than 46,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to Gaza health authorities. Nearly the entire pre-war population of 2.3 million people in the enclave has been displaced several times, and much of the territory has been laid to waste.